tax budget for 2015.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you about the tax bill.
That's the next topic on the agenda. Can you?
Okay, we'll follow along in the package that I've given to you. If you want to see House Bill 59, I don't really know your question, that you want to know that.
Are we required to pass, is the board required to pass a resolution regarding the tax budget?
For 2015?
Yes.
No, not that I know. But it may be something you believe in, but not that I know. They have not come up with anything for 2015 yet. October 1st, certified tax amounts and the rates to the county, and that's for the township. The deadline can be extended and file amended certificates of resources on November 1st. This document I have also emailed to the board before your time, Mr. Severe. But here's a certificate on the basic ORC requirements. And then in this document on my side, I wrote, see the report from ECPL that was signed that talked about the reduction of funds. And as far as 2015, I'm not aware. But here is the Ohio Rascal listing, and here's about the 4% reduction, or the reduction that Ms. Bay brought to us way back in December. An agreement was signed about the 1.6.
Okay, I'm looking at the statement of finance reporting requirements. It has here 720 file board certified tax budget accounting.
Statement up. Would you repeat that statement
It
up?
says 720 file board certified tax budget accounting.
On your sheet, item 7-20.
Okay. No.
It
And
might
I
be-
talked to the county and she did not say anything was due.
Okay.
But I will talk with her again, Ms. Donna Johnson, who works for Vernon Dillon for our county, for county. She said at this point, the only thing that we have to do is, she needed that budget. And that was it. But I was.
Any other comments? Okay, let's move on to the next item, status of UAN system implementation. Ms. Howell.
Okay, as I stated, for UAN, we'd be glad to sit down with the Finance Committee and discuss the remaining UAN implementation issues. This was requested at a prior board meeting and it still has not happened yet. Implementation into UAN. Our consultant, Kevin Penn, completed the bank reconciliations for 2009 through 2012. That money has now been booked into UAN. We have booked everything from January through July 28th. We are not done. Mr. Tony Long has been in. We have met our goal. The letter that was sent to the state auditor stating that we have entered June, that we would enter all the information up to June 2014, and it would be done by July 31st. We have met our goal for that letter that was sent to Mr. Lowry.
Thank you.
Okay, we are now in the process of inputting July's entries into UAN, and as I stated, we're up to July 28th. And the completion date post is still open, and I hope to be completed within the next week, but that is not printed, it's just completed inputting and comparing. So there is still some money that is out that we have to balance out, and that's where we are.
So when do you project being able to start to generate reports from the UAN system for the board?
I didn't want to generate reports until all of July was in. I can go back and generate reports from January through June, but then that would stop our inputting. So I would say that I'm hoping to get a call back from Mr. Long so we can finalize out July and we can start. My deadline, my goal is August 15th, so that we can start actually issuing checks through the UAN system. Checks and reports and everything that we need, being up to date when we can walk in and post to UAN and be done.
I have a question in regards to the data entry and timing. many people you need to do this, and what is the weekly time input to make sure that things are done timely? And is payroll a part of it?
No, payroll's not a part of UAN to prepare payroll. We do that through ADP. You do have to enter into UAN your totals from payroll.
That's what I was, okay, all right,
Yeah,
so,
you have to enter in order to put your books updated.
okay.
I'm gonna let Mr. Hogan answer that because we talked about it earlier. We need, another person, as I expressed at personnel committee, a person that has an accounting background because there's still a lot of work yet to do. Even though we're up to date and we're just entering into UAN, there are a lot of requests for past issues that need to be addressed. So you need someone with that knowledge.
Okay, that means next, and we'll maybe cover that depending on what's on the agenda. But my question is still being, once we are on task and on target, and there's nothing left that needs to be entered, if today is Monday and we're starting from scratch, what is the regular timeline for somebody? So it's 50% of their day doing UAN data entry, it's 25% of their time doing UAN entry and then balancing and doing reporting. What does that time look like?
And like I said, Mr. Hogan, would you answer?
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of asking the question, you know, to use an analogy, if you're making wine, you don't know until it's there, and when you actually look at it and you can say, there's a couple different things that you have to worry about with this. The first and foremost is that right now, UAN is only on one machine in the office. I mean, so you kind of got to work around trying to get access to the one machine in order to be able to put, so you can't put in different types of transactions from different computers all at the same time because you can only go to that one machine that's owned by the state of Ohio to be able to put it in. And that's the first thing. The second thing is that, you know, once you start putting cash transactions in and that kind of thing, if you don't balance, I mean, the whole process basically says, once you reconcile cash, then everything else tends to fall into place.
Okay.
I mean, you can still go through and you can say, I don't want this transaction to be in this account. I'd rather have it in this account. But once you start working with the system and you start generating reports, you can go through it and you can say, I don't like where this is, or I don't like how that felt. I mean, that's a whole different kettle of worms. A third different kettle of worms, and the ones you guys seem to be most concerned with, and the biggest deficiency in using QuickBooks is that when you get into your appropriation ledger, QuickBooks does not have a strong appropriation ledger, so it's hard to see where you actually spent your money. You know, one of the strong points in UAN is that it does have a strong appropriation ledger, but when you go into the appropriation ledger, which I reviewed yesterday and the day before, it needs work.
It has to be approved by the board. You can't just transfer money from one place to
Well,
another.
I'm not even talking about the transfer. I'm talking about it. The data as it's in the computer right now needs work. If it were me, I would not be satisfied with what's being printed in that report. The report that came out for June is getting closer to accurate, but it's not where it needs to be yet.
Okay, so with that in mind, because we were discussing UAN resources, allocation, and timing, does the state allow for us to have more than one machine?
Yes, I have requested our IT department. They have tried a couple of times before to set up both computers for UAN and for, something that I was, the WAS system, the clock, when the people swipe in. But we've always had problems. So Ms. Flood is going to try again on the 20th of August.
Okay, let me ask another question. Would it be simpler to purchase a new machine that is state configured so that we can move along.
You're not allowed, you can't touch anything at the state.
No,
You
I'm
can't
not,
purchase anything.
no, I'm not saying us purchase it and have the state look at it. I'm saying, does the state have a computer that they say, here, you can use and we can purchase it from them? That's what I'm asking. Or do we have to wait for them to bring the computer? Is that the process?
Yes,
Okay, and so we've asked them for a new computer?
they just gave us,
Okay, that's what I was trying to get clear.
you're not allowed to do